night where legends are made.
But you talk about resilience. Guys, stay together.
A city starving for a championship.
The Bengals have ended a 30-year drought.
A franchise that's all in.
The Los Angeles Rams have signed Odell Beckham Jr.
Wow. Are loading up even more by adding multi-year Pro Bowler Von Miller.
There is not a cat in the league that I want with the game on the line, with the ball in their hands, more than Matthew Stafford.
You need to know your place, 'cause it's about to get heavy.
We are not done. This is not the standard. The standard is the Super Bowl.
Tonight, the season ends. The Los Angeles Rams, the Cincinnati Bengals, Super Bowl 56.
We ain't even done yet.
Hey.
We still got one more.
Continuing the battle. Finding a way through adversity.
The longest season in NFL history will conclude here tonight, February 13th, 6:30 p.m. is when kickoff happens for the biggest event in the world. The Los Angeles Rams staying home, technically being the away team, but defending their home turf against the Cincinnati Bengals, the underdogs, the upsets. Will it happen here on Super Bowl 56? Lots to talk about as these two heavyweights go head-to-head and collide to conclude the end of the season. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Time2Football. My name is Hassan Khan, the host of this channel that we like to call Time2Football. Glad you guys are able to join us for this wonderful, marvelous, amazing, stupendous Super Bowl 56 pre-game show. So excited for what's to come between the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to encourage you guys and remind you throughout the duration of this pregame show, this is a little bit different than anything else that you'll see on TV, on YouTube, anything of that nature, because what makes this a little bit different is that we have this call-in feature, which at any point throughout the duration of the show, if you want to give your prediction on who's going to be Super Bowl MVP, who's going to win the game, your score prediction, whatever it may be, I encourage you guys to jump on in, join this live stream, and hit that link in the description, join our Discord server, and go to our call-in feature. Under the voice channels, there's going to be a waiting room. Just join that. Just hang out there, and I'm going to get you guys all caught up and get you guys caught up on air as well. Give your insight on what's going to happen in today's game. Glad you guys are able to join us for this wonderful pregame show that we have coming ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the biggest game of the year, like we mentioned, between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. What is going to happen to conclude this season? An already amazing season, like I mentioned, the biggest season, the longest season. These two teams, number 1 and number 2 respectively in our power rankings, but only one can be top dog. Will it be Matthew Stafford, who made the Super Bowl after 12 long seasons, 13, I should say, 12 long seasons with the Detroit Lions, and 13th with the LA Rams, or is it Joe Burrow, only in his second year, coming back off of a torn ACL, the comeback player of the year, that wins it for the Cincinnati Bengals? Lots to uncover on this episode of Time2Football. And I think, first and foremost, what we want to do to get you guys caught up with everything is NFL news and notes that's going around the league as of today. Because there's a lot of drama that's going on even outside of the Super Bowl. But you can see the topic bar down at the bottom. This is what we've got planned for today's show. We've got NFL news and notes. We've got a what if segment. Hey, if the Rams win or lose, if the Bengals win or lose, each scenario, we're going to dive into that. What is the future for both of these teams, as well as talking about some unsung heroes, some dark horses that might pop up in today's episode or today's show, or I should say Super Bowl game. And then we're going to give you our final prediction on what is going to happen. So that's what's on tap for today's show. NFL news and notes that we want to get you guys caught up on and seeing what's happening in the NFL world as of today. Let's first start off with the big game and see what's going on as far as the actives and the inactives for Super Bowl 56. So the inactives, unfortunately, these players will not be realizing their dream of playing in the Super Bowl. Not for this season, at least. There's been some players that are inactive that have played in previous Super Bowls, i.e. Tyler Higbee, who was a part of the Los Angeles Rams team for so long, but unfortunately today, he's not going to be able to make it. Unfortunately, Tyler Higbee is going to be put on the shelf. He's going to be inactive. He's been placed on injured reserve, as well as Joe Noteboom, the offensive lineman for the LA Rams. Tough break. And in a season, I would say in the last couple of weeks, where it looked like it was optimistic for Tyler Higbee more so than the other tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals, CJ Uzomah, which we're going to talk about him in just a bit. You would have expected both tight ends, same injury, but CJ Uzomah seems like it's a little bit more of a, it's more serious. Well, it kind of flipped the script that Tyler Higbee's ended up being a little bit more serious, and CJ Uzomah instead will be the one that is active in this game. We're going to get to him when we talk about the actives. So Tyler Higbee and Joe Noteboom for the Los Angeles Rams, unfortunately, are going to be missing this game. They are sidelined for Super Bowl 56. The actives for today's game, we've got CJ Uzomah. We saw the heroic antics, I would say, by CJ Uzomah on Super Bowl opening night, which was Monday, where they were in Cincinnati, and they had this whole pep rally, you could say. It had like that high school pep rally gym feel. And CJ Uzomah with the mic, a WWE style, something out of a WWF promo, takes his knee brace off, flings it across the field as far as he can, signaling that, hey, CJ Uzomah is going to be playing. Well, we've been asking Zach Taylor, trust me, I've been through these press conferences all throughout Super Bowl week. I've had the opportunity to sit in and listen to Zach Taylor talk about CJ Uzomah. He's saying, we're hopeful. We're hopeful that CJ can play. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? CJ Uzomah is not official yet because they have to come out with their official actives and inactives an hour and a half before. But we can go ahead and guarantee you that CJ Uzomah will be seeing the field for the Cincinnati Bengals. Darrell Henderson, a guy that was placed on injured reserve, taken out of the game. Sony Michel came in very strong. Cam Akers came in, replaced Sony Michel. 3 great running backs that they could have available for today's game. Darrell Henderson dealing with a knee injury. He's been activated off of injured reserve. Again, we're not official yet. It's an hour and a half before game time. So at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to see Darrell Henderson, whether he's active or inactive. But Darrell Henderson is hopeful to play in this game. He's been activated off injured reserve. And another Los Angeles Rams that has been activated off injured reserve, we've got Sebastian Joseph Day, very underrated player that has been activated off of injured reserve that has a chance to play in this game here tonight. That gets me fired up that these guys are coming back after an injury. After an injury where it should have sidelined them, Uzomah, Henderson, and Joseph Day could be all active for this game. But that is your injury news for Super Bowl 56. You guys can continue to fill into the comment section. I encourage you guys to interact with us. Again, if you guys haven't had the opportunity to see what we put up, the graphic ahead of time, and if you're just now joining in, I encourage you guys to join our Discord server and hang out in that waiting room, and we will get you guys on and hear what you guys have to say about Super Bowl 56. Here are your predictions for the score, who's going to win, who's Super Bowl MVP, and any sort of questions that you guys may have. I encourage you guys to join in on that Discord server. The link is in the description. But going back to NFL news and notes, you got Dan Grimm joining us saying, hey, T2F. Hey, Dan, how you doing? So glad that you are a part of this. Going back to the NFL news and notes, Sean McVay, you may not have heard about this because it might have been a little bit underneath the radar, but Sean McVay might be joining broadcasting coming up. He might pursue a broadcasting career. That is huge for the Los Angeles Rams. Now, there has been indications that he could. There's been reports out there saying that he could because, number one, he's set to get married pretty soon to his longtime girlfriend and fiance, and number two, there's a lot more money in the TV career as opposed to the coaching career, and you're not that stressed out. I mean, you don't have to work 80, 90 hours a week, commit your whole entire life to coaching or to a TV career as opposed to the coaching career, the stress side of the NFL career. So Sean McVay at 36 years old could be leaving coaching and could be pursuing a career in broadcasting. If he goes out on top, that could be good for Sean McVay and his resume and getting a good job for the broadcasting career. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that Sean McVay would make a good broadcaster in the NFL world? Okay, and the last little bit of NFL news, major news, I should say. Kyler Murray. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but this is big news coming out of Arizona. Chris Mortensen, a very well-respected reporter for ESPN, has come out and said that the tension between Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals is alarming. He used the word alarming, meaning that he could be moving on from the Arizona Cardinals eventually in the future. It could be happening. The fact that Kyler Murray on his Instagram deleted and only has 2 posts on his Instagram and unfollowed the Cardinals, he deleted all these posts. I think it's going to be signaling the fact that Kyler Murray is upset with the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of people were talking about that. Then the Arizona Cardinals, they trolled Kyler Murray by deleting all of their posts except for 2 posts. And one of them was just Kyler Murray. Actually, 2 of them were Kyler Murray. One of them, the first post is Kyler Murray getting drafted. It's funny. It's funny. And now there seems to be some tension. Now, with all of that, the Cardinals are hopeful that after some veterans talk to Kyler Murray and have some positive conversations with them, everything will be good to go. But Kyler Murray, he feels scapegoated. He feels like he was embarrassed in that loss against the Los Angeles Rams. He's a finger pointer, according to sources. He's selfish, according to sources. It's big news. Big news for Kyler Murray if his future is going to continue for the Los Angeles or the Arizona Cardinals, I should say. But that is your NFL news and notes for today, February 13th, 2022. Well, he's no Tony Romo, but he might be okay. This is by talking about Sean McVay being a broadcaster. Yeah, we didn't know that Tony Romo was going to be Tony Romo until he actually popped on and, ended up being a very good broadcaster and predicting like everything, predicting The Simpsons. By the way, there's this photo going around saying that The Simpsons predicted the Bengals to win. That's actually a fake photo. That's been photoshopped. Just to let you guys know. I'm not saying whether the Bengals are going to win or lose. I'm just saying that photo by The Simpsons is fake in case you guys missed that. But that's your NFL news and notes. Hey, guess what? We've got commercial breaks put into this, but these are commercial breaks that you guys might actually enjoy. We're going to be showing you the past interviews in case you guys missed it, that you missed out on here on T2F's channel. So we'll be right back, but we'll be back after this interview. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, Hassan?
Yep, that's it. Got it right.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I've been following you for a while. Actually, back to the days of Help Hekker Get Laid and that campaign that was going on. Been going on for a while, and it was going strong for a bit. But recently, there's been a little bit of a drought as far as Pro Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts. Do you feel like you should have made the Pro Bowl in recent years?
No, I don't. The recognition that I had was great and really fun to have. I do still think I have some of my best years ahead of me. But the production just wasn't there compared to what other guys were doing, so I don't think it's really realistic of me to think that I deserved it over anybody else when their numbers were better, their production was good, and consistency was there. So I'm always happy for the other guys that get the nod, especially the ones that are deserving, that I think are playing some really, really good football. So I'm always happy to see other guys get shine. This game's not about me, it's about my team, and I've had a ton of fun being on some successful winning football teams, and I find some solace in that for sure.
Appreciate it, man. Good luck.
Thanks, Hassan.
And Johnny Hekker is going to be making another Super Bowl return for the Los Angeles Rams as the punter, and has been to the Pro Bowl a few times. Recently has not gone. We wanted to ask him about that. Help Hekker Get Laid, that campaign. But Johnny Hekker is going to could be a big factor in this game, believe it or not, even though he is a punter in this game. Johnny Hekker, great to catch up with him. You guys are continuing to comment down below. We've got Dan Grimm saying, if the Bengals win, who do you have to be the major X factor in your opinion. So we have that segment actually when we're going to be talking about unsung heroes. So I'm going to get to that in just a bit. But again, I encourage you guys to join our Discord and leave your thoughts and your opinions as well if you guys want to go ahead and give your advice on that. But yes, we're going to be talking about unsung heroes in just a bit. But the next segment that we have coming up is talking about the what ifs of Super Bowl 56. What is set to happen if the Bengals win, if the Bengals lose, if the Rams win, and the Rams lose? Like, what could the future hold for either one of these teams? Let's first start off with the Los Angeles Rams. Between the two teams, I think all of America and all the NFL community can agree that this is win or bust for the Los Angeles Rams. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Win or bust. You invested so much capital, and it started with Matthew Stafford. Actually, honestly, it started when Sean McVay came into town, and really after his first year in 2017, made the playoffs, coach of the year, awesome. 2018 offseason, made these trades, made these signings to just get all these players in so that they could make the Super Bowl. And guess what? They did. They did, but they lost. They only put up 3 points in the Super Bowl, and they felt like for the next 2 years after that, it was Jared Goff and the issue with the offense that was the reason behind them losing so much. So, 2021, make a trade. Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. You invest so much draft capital in getting Matthew Stafford that you also go down the route of getting Von Miller as well and signing Odell Beckham Jr. You invested so much in this team that it is win or bust for your franchise. So, if you win, it was all worth it. Your future is looking bleak. I'll be honest with you. For the Los Angeles Rams, as far as rebuilding, it's not looking great. They have a great team, and they're going to be great for years to come. I mean, you got Stafford for a few years. I mean, you're going to be good. You're going to be good for like the next 2 years. I get that. I get that. I'm talking about for the future, where the earliest that you pick is in the third round. You're not really rebuilding. But that's okay if you win. Now, if you lose, going back to not rebuilding, that could go towards your future of the decline of the Los Angeles Rams could begin. If you lose the Super Bowl, you made 2 Super Bowls now. Sean McVay didn't win. Didn't win either. And now you have a third round pick as your earliest pick. You're not helping your case in rebuilding. You're going to have to go above the cap yet again. You're going to have to release those players. You're going to have to make decisions on, hey, Robert Woods, he's going to be a free agent pretty soon. Like, do we resign him? Do we resign Odell Beckham to a long-term deal? Like, these conversations are going to come up for the Los Angeles Rams. It's not looking good if the Los Angeles Rams lose for the future. So, the what-if situations. What if they win? What if they lose? If they win, all worth it. If they lose, you're going to go on a decline. And I highly, highly doubt with the competition increasing and increasing and increasing, that it's going to be easier and easier to get back to the Super Bowl. Not saying that they can't, next year at least, but that window is shrinking slowly for the Los Angeles Rams, and you could miss out on the Super Bowl in the future. Now, the what-if scenarios for the Cincinnati Bengals, America's team. Everybody loves this team. If they win, guess what? They won a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow in a second year, and that sets the freaking tone for the city of Cincinnati and this Bengals franchise and what's to come in the future. Now, again, they could go down the route of the Seattle Seahawks where Russell Wilson wins in the second year. And then after that, you're like, oh my gosh, this could be a dynasty. And then they don't really get a Super Bowl win after that. But then maybe this Bengals team could be different. They could go down the route of being the Seattle Seahawks where they've been so good for so many years and legitimate playoff / Super Bowl contenders down the road. That's if they win. If they lose, guess what? It's okay. It's perfectly fine. You don't have that much pressure like the Los Angeles Rams compared to them. The Bengals can afford to lose this game, and they'll be perfectly fine for the future. Young head coach, young quarterback, young star wide receiver, young team in general. You will be fine. If anything, making the Super Bowl helped your cause because in the offseason, a lot of teams are going to take a little bit of discount so that they can go to a Super Bowl contender, hence the Cincinnati Bengals, knowing that Joe Burrow has year after year after year ahead of him in the future. Whereas the Los Angeles Rams, you lose. Oh, man, you're picking in the third round. I don't know. So the pressure is on for the LA Rams. the what-if scenarios. To wrap it up, to sum it up, Los Angeles Rams, they need this win bad. If they don't get it, I don't know what the future is going to hold. The Bengals, obviously they're going to try, but you can lose. It's okay. If you lose, it's okay. You still have many more years to get back to the big game. So that's the what-if scenarios for the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals on what could happen if either of these teams win or lose. Continue to comment down below your thoughts and your opinions on all of these. I'm going to go ahead and take another break real quick. Here's a look at Cincinnati Bengals offensive tackle Jonah Williams. And we had the chance to interview him here earlier this week. And this is what he had to say about getting back to the big game. Well, not back to the big game, but getting back into the lineup and being a consistent piece on this offensive line, rebounding from injuries, and some wise words that he has for those early players that are dealing with those struggles. Check it out. Would you have any sort of words of wisdom for those young guys, whether it be dealing with injuries early on in their career or just not really performing well early on in their career and then really rebounding to their year 3, year 4 and being a key piece for their team?
Yeah, I think just plugging away. Just continuing to approach every day with that same intensity and that same commitment. I think that just consistency is huge in this league. That's one of the most important traits you can have, is just being consistent. So if you need to be riding on emotional highs and lows and, trying to hype yourself up or something like that, you're just not going to be successful in this league. Just continuing to show up every day with a positive attitude, working, and just staying focused on long-term goals, which is to be a great franchise left tackle for a Super Bowl organization. That's what I've had my eyes on this whole time. That's what I've been working towards. And, we're fortunate to be in a position to go try to capture that this weekend.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
And that is left tackle Jonah Williams, who protects the blind side of Joe Burrow, making sure that he's upright and all good all season long as Joe Shiesty can make his plays. But if you guys are just now joining us, Los Angeles Rams versus Cincinnati Bengals is what we have on tap here tonight for Super Bowl 56. As Matt Stafford is in his 13th season, finally we can say that Matt Stafford has made a Super Bowl appearance for the Cincinnati Bengals. This team has so much swagger. Oh my gosh, this is going to be such a good freaking game. I am excited to see what happens here tonight between both of these teams. Glad you guys are able to join us. Again, my name is Hassan Khan, the host of this YouTube channel called Time2Football. If you guys are just now joining us, I encourage you guys to join our Discord server, because we've been talking about how you have the opportunity to call into this live show and give your opinions and your predictions on what's going to be happening. Who do you think is going to be Super Bowl MVP? Who do you think is going to win this game? What's the final score going to be? Whatever it may be. If you just want to talk about football, anything in the NFL that's going on right now, I encourage you guys to join us in the live voice channel room and just hang out in that waiting room down in the Discord. And then I'm going to be pulling some people on and chatting with you guys live if you guys do decide to join that. Now, we had a comment actually earlier talking about who do you think could be a major X factor in your opinion in this game. This is from Dan Grimm down in the chat below. And we do have a few candidates that we wanted to talk about. So now what I'm going to take the time to do is talk about those candidates that could be unsung heroes, that could be dark horses, the players like we don't expect to be maybe Super Bowl MVP, but could be Super Bowl MVP eventually. So I know we have those players like Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, like basic prediction to be Super Bowl MVP, right? We all expect it to happen. But what are those players that maybe they could win Super Bowl MVP? It's like, oh, okay, like I could see that happening. And then those players, and we're like, who the heck is this guy? Like, he's going to win Super Bowl MVP? We've got one of those guys here that you guys may not know about from the Cincinnati Bengals defense. But let's first start off with our first unsung hero, and that is Cam freaking Akers. Oh my gosh, the recovery process for this man to come back and be leading the Rams in touches on the ground for the whole postseason. I mean, Darrell Henderson looked great. Then Sony Michel comes in, took his job, looked even better. Then Cam Akers comes in, looked even better. Now, when I say looked better, like the offense was just clicking more, statistically, Cam Akers is averaging 2.4 yards a carry this postseason, which is not the best, but Cam Akers could really open things up for the LA Rams offense. You could be in a position where the Bengals need to stop Cooper Kupp. They need to stop Odell Beckham Jr. They need to stop Matthew Stafford in his pass game, open things up, take people outside of the box, and Cam Akers could be given a little bit more room to run up the middle. To the fact that you might not even see Cam Akers average 2.4 yards a carry in SoFi Stadium, but a lot more. Cam Akers, I'm high on him, even in the passing game. If you got Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., all those guys covered, guess what? Underneath, Cam Akers has had 10 or more receiving yards in 4 of the last 5 games. I like Akers a lot in the pass game and in the run game. If the Bengals secondary does decide to put more attention towards the outside receivers, Cam Akers open things up inside of the trenches and inside of the box. So that is unsung hero number 1, Cam Akers of the Los Angeles Rams. By the way, we have 2 unsung heroes for the Rams and then 2 unsung heroes for the Bengals. Let's first talk about the Rams, Cam Akers, Ram number 1. Let's actually transition over to the Bengals and talk about unsung hero number 2. And I think a lot of people, when they see this name, are going to be like, oh, yeah, like I could totally see this happening. How about Tyler Boyd? Have we forgotten about how good Tyler Boyd has been for the Bengals for the last 2-3 seasons? I mean, he's been their number 1 receiver, outside of maybe A.J. Green, but he could be a big factor in this game. I mean, you could see the Rams' passing defense, which has been exposed many, many times, cover Jamar Chase, cover T. Higgins, and then leaving Tyler Boyd wide open. The season for Tyler Boyd so far, in the regular season at least, 67 receptions, 828 yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns. Not the greatest season, but split in time being the number 3 option, maybe even number 4 behind Joe Mixon and CJ Uzomah. Behind Jamar Chase and T. Higgins for Joe Burrow, 828 yards for the season is not that bad. And 5 touchdowns is not that bad at all. Actually, as a matter of fact, 4 of the last 6 games, he scored a touchdown in 4 of the last 6 games. So Tyler Boyd is a target that Joe Burrow still involves heavily in this offense. Maybe not as heavily as Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, but you could see Tyler Boyd emerge as an unsung hero. And do not be surprised. Last stretch, you need to go down the field. The Bengals are down. Start passing the ball more. Joe Burrow throws it for 40, 45 times in this game. Tyler Boyd could easily, in this game, get 9, 10, 11 targets. I could see it happening. So that is unsung hero number 2 and the first Cincinnati Bengal of my unsung hero list. We got Rubio actually commenting down below saying CJ Uzomah. Yeah, Uzomah is actually heroic. It would be very, very heroic if he comes up and he ends up playing in this game, but also winning Super Bowl MVP or being a dark horse in this game. The next player, maybe it's a player that you guys have never heard about, but I'm going to go ahead and mention him because he's very underrated. How about Logan Wilson, linebacker of the Cincinnati Bengals? Who the heck is this guy? Well, if you guys are not super into NFL stats, you may not know about him, but if you are, then you know that he had 100 tackles this season and 4 interceptions playing at linebacker. The Bengals defense, I expect the Rams defense to be on the field a lot more than the Bengals defense, but if the Bengals defense needs to step up and stop Matthew Stafford, I think it's going to go onto the backs of Logan Wilson in the dead center at middle linebacker. I mean, stopping Joe Mixon or stopping Cam Akers from popping off a big gain, stopping Matthew Stafford in the pass game by playing underneath, playing in the zone. Logan Wilson could emerge as a Super Bowl MVP. As a matter of fact, the last linebacker to win MVP in the Super Bowl, Malcolm Smith of the Seattle Seahawks, when they beat the Denver Broncos 43-8. So Logan Wilson could be following in that suit as being a Super Bowl MVP. Granted, this is all if Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, like the big names, don't win it. Whereas, I mean, MVP is a quarterback award anyways. how the heck did Aaron Rodgers win over Cooper Kupp? I mean, I understand why he did because NFL reporters and media loves quarterbacks so much. But the fact is, if you actually broke it down and actually thought about it, it should have been Cooper Kupp that won NFL MVP. That's a different conversation for a different day. Let's not worry about it. Maybe we'll talk about it in tomorrow's Super Bowl show, Super Bowl recap show. But anyways, Logan Wilson, unsung hero, number 3. And the last player, a Rams player. You know, I was actually going down the route of listing Brandon Powell. You're like, who the heck is this guy? He's a wide receiver for the LA Rams. But then I thought about, like, man, that was so obscure to name Brandon Powell that, like, I'm going to leave him off the list. I'm going to be a little bit more realistic and name the wide receiver that's ahead of him on the depth chart, but not the number 1 wide receiver on the depth chart. It is Van Jefferson. How about Van Jefferson? Guys, Van Jefferson is very underrated. Jefferson is the deep threat for Matthew Stafford. He's averaging 16 yards per reception. His stats for 2021, 50 receptions, 802 yards off of 50 receptions, and 6 receiving touchdowns. Van Jefferson has been such a good deep threat for the Los Angeles Rams. And actually, as a matter of fact, when we go to commercial break, I'm going to show you the interview of Van Jefferson here in just a bit and talk about his role in that offense. But Van Jefferson, I like him. I really do. I'm going to stop saying his full name, Van Jefferson, because that could probably get annoying. But there's been so many players in the past at the wide receiver position that have popped up out of nowhere for the Seattle Seahawks, mainly Percy Harvin in Super Bowl 48, returning that kick for a touchdown after only playing 1 game that season. Chris Matthews. You may not know about Chris Matthews. You may not even have heard about him. He doesn't even play in the NFL anymore. But Chris Matthews, nobody knew about him. But he popped up as a Super Bowl MVP candidate against the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 49 for the Seattle Seahawks. He was making big catch after big catch after big catch, and I could easily see Van Jefferson being that guy. Even if he gets 2, 3, 4 targets every single game, I could easily see him making those big 30, 40, 50-yard receptions down the field and opening things up for the LA Rams. Do not be surprised if Van Jefferson has an amazing, crazy stat line, like 3 receptions, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I could easily see that happening for Van Jefferson. So to wrap things up and to recap, my unsung heroes, potential dark horses, potential X factors, if you want to call them, for Super Bowl 56 would be Cam Akers and Van Jefferson for the LA Rams. If they decide to win, decide like they have a choice. I guess you do have a choice, but the Cincinnati Bengals, on their side, Tyler Boyd and Logan Wilson are my candidates for each team. If you have a different X factor, different opinion, I encourage you guys to leave your comments and leave your thoughts down below, and I love to interact with the guys and see what you guys are saying. Different opinion, I encourage. Ooh, what is going on there? Sorry about that, guys. I was just, I don't know what that was. Wow, okay. Let's go ahead and go back to, pause that. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties that we have on this pregame show. Hey, we're live. We're live, by the way. All right, so that's good. We fixed that. We're live, brother. We're live. And I encourage you guys, while we are live, to go ahead and comment down below and join us during this pregame show that we have planned for you guys. We've got much more to talk about, including... Hey, I should have talked about this guy in the beginning of the video, but do you guys know someone by the name of Mason Dodd? He does Fantasy Flock Network. That's his YouTube channel. I know that there's a lot of people that watch this channel that watch his channel as well. We had the opportunity to sit down with them and interview him, which we're going to show you a tidbit of that, only 3 minutes of it. But we have a whole 15-minute interview that we're going to be releasing later on this week. But we're going to show you that interview in just a bit. For now, let's go ahead and go to commercial break, and then we'll be right back with you guys here on this pregame show for Time to Football, Super Bowl 56 pregame show. Let's actually check in with a little bit of an unsung hero that we talked about. Hey, Van. First off, congrats on the new baby boy. That's exciting. I wanted to ask you a question in regards to your role on this offense with the Rams and Matthew Stafford. In your personal preference, do you prefer to be like that Cooper Kupp 6, 8, 10 targets kind of guy a game, or do you really like your role right now as an intermediate to deep threat for Matthew Stafford?
I just take my role as, whatever they need me to do for that game. If that's getting 6 to 8 targets that game, then that is. If it's getting 1 to 2 targets that game, then that's what it is. I just try to play the best of my ability, and make a play when the ball is thrown my way, and play the role to the best of my ability, and just go out there and play, and that's all I try to focus on. That's all I try to do, and everything else will take care of itself.
Appreciate it. Good luck. And that is Van Jefferson, Los Angeles Rams wide receiver, who could pop off in this game. Big days ahead of him in his second season for the LA Rams. In this game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams at Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles, such a good game that we've got coming up. If you guys are just now joining us, glad you guys are able to join us for this pregame show that we have for Super Bowl 56. I encourage you guys to leave your likes, subscribe to this channel, and join us for much more to come on this channel that we're going to be talking about in future weeks. But LA Rams, Bengals, leave your predictions down below. Who's going to be winning this almighty game? The biggest events. I would say this is a concert with a game mixed in, because that lineup that we got for the Super Bowl halftime show, oh my freaking goodness. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. Listen, okay, here's the thing. Kids nowadays are so freaking basic. So basic. Dude, the baby, Lil Baby. 6ix9ine. Who's like a popular rapper right now? I don't know. Tells you how out of touch I am by saying 6ix9ine. Yeah, it's basic to like nowadays rap music. So basic. So basic. Hey, what kind of music do you like? I like Kid Cudi. Basic. Except Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's okay. He's an exception. Hey, what kind of music do you like? I like the DaBaby. I like the DaBaby when he got into the fight with that one guy, Danny something, in a bowling alley, and everybody was slipping everywhere. You guys know about this? DaBaby, he got in a fight in a bowling alley. Whatever. Okay. Anyways, that's basic. That's basic. Hey, what do you like? Oh, I appreciate like older rap. I like Snoop Dogg. I like Dr. Dre. I love Eminem. I love Kendrick Lamar as well. I like J. Cole. Nah, people don't vibe with it. But yeah, if for you guys that are older, like 25 and up, you're gonna see the Super Bowl halftime show. You're gonna be like, "This is my generation. Yeah, this is what I like. Let's go." But yeah, anyways, I'll stop talking about that because I'm pretty sure that I just lost viewers talking about the halftime show. No, actually, I gained viewers. Oh, okay. So if I keep talking about DaBaby in a bowling alley and slipping around and fighting, that's gonna get me viewers. I love it. Anyways, let's stick to football. We've got a comment down below from Rubio saying, I do know him, talking about Mason Dodd from Fantasy Flock. It's weird because he really doesn't do collabs. I don't really know him, but I watch his videos. Yeah, so Mason Dodd does not do collabs. I actually found that out after the interview. I think we talked. We did the interview via Zoom for like 15 minutes, and then after that, we talked for like a good 20 minutes or so, just about like YouTube and like our passions, our dreams, and like how we got to where we were, and like how we can help each other, and gave good advice to each other. And yeah, very bright mind, very bright person, like very, very, very smart guy. So I encourage you guys to follow him and subscribe to him. I did not have a chance to include his YouTube channel link underneath down below, but he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. He said he likes the algorithm, however you pronounce it, to take over and not like external links to redirect to his channel. But we have a whole 15-minute interview that we're going to be releasing on this channel next week. Today, we're only going to show you the Super Bowl segment that we picked and talked to him about. We talked to him about his opinions on who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl. So let's go ahead and check in with them and see what he has to say about who is going to win Super Bowl 56. So the Super Bowl is coming up, and I don't know when I'm going to be putting this interview out. It might be during the Super Bowl show. It might be afterwards. I don't know. Whatever. But let's talk about the Super Bowl. Your prediction on it between the Rams and the Bengals, what do you think is going to happen?
So I want to put a massive disclaimer. I am very dumb when it comes to offensive lines, defensive lines, things that really matter from an NFL standpoint, swinging in games. I mean, that's a big thing that, you see, I think a lot of casual NFL players getting wrong is the lack of understanding of a lot of different variables that, we're really never going to be able to fully understand. What I can say is the line opened up at, I believe, 3.5, immediately went in the side of the Los Angeles Rams. And if you listen to anybody sharp, a lot of people that are significantly smarter than I am, they say that, the Rams should be able to dominate this game in terms of the defensive line play compared to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think at this point, 99% of people that have ever listened to a podcast, watched a video on anything, have already heard that piece of analysis. But also to go along with this, the Los Angeles Rams supposedly have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. So if you're getting dominated on both of those fronts, I would imagine that it's pretty difficult for the Cincinnati Bengals to come out here and win this game. Of course, the spread's 4 points. So, it's going to be a good game regardless. I'm personally going to be rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals. I actually had the pleasure of seeing Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and all those guys play live whenever they came to Austin, Texas, put a beat down on my Texas Longhorns. So it's fun watching those guys. Obviously, it's hard to root against Joe Burrow, just the swag of Cincinnati right now.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I want to go for the Bengals so bad. I love the story. I love Joe Burrow. I love his press conferences. I love Jamar Chase because if we're talking about fantasy football, that was a guy that I said that I was going to be a top 10 receiver. I got a lot of crap for that, so it feels so good. So I'm rooting for those guys so bad, but I got to go with my mind here, and I got to say it's the Rams. Matthew Stafford is so freaking good, and I'm with you on the defensive line, offensive line. I'm not an expert on that, but I know well enough that who has the better lines in the trenches, who's better, and I got to go with the Rams, so I'm with you on that. Thank you so much for the time. Last question: who's going to be a Super Bowl MVP?
Hopefully Cup.
Dude, he should be freaking MVP in real life. But
exactly.
Quarterback, MVQB. That's the award right now. That's freaking sucks. But anyways, Mason, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on your success, and we will definitely be chatting soon in the future.
Thank you, my dude.
That is Mason Dodd of the Fantasy Flock YouTube channel. Make sure you guys check him out. I'll put the links down in the description below. And that was, like I said, Mason Dodd. Big thanks to him for joining us for this interview. We got the full interview on the YouTube channel later on this week, so make sure you guys subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date with all the 15 minutes that we talked to Mason about everything going on in his life and his channel and his upbringing and how it all started. Because YouTubers, we collab, we like to help each other out. We're not competing against each other. We're a community, helping each other out, helping each other follow our dreams. So, again, thank you to Mason Dodd. That was just a segment from our interview that we wanted to show you. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, show you a little interview that we did with a big-time player on the Los Angeles Rams. Take a break, and then we'll be right back on this Time to Football Super Bowl 56 pregame show. Hey, Sony, first off, congratulations on making the Super Bowl. I know that's your attention, your focus is on the big game this weekend, but I really wanted to get into your mind and ask your thoughts on how this season was really an audition for this offseason coming up, whether you decide to re-sign with the Rams or decide to move forward with a different team.
It's easy to say it's an audition, but it's really not, because you only can be where your feet are. And I had to be present in the moment and taking it day by day. The offseason wasn't something I could focus on because without taking care of my job and taking care of what I needed to do this season, who knows what offseason looks like. And till this day, it's still up in the air. So my focus is really just finishing the season, finishing it strong, trying to get this last W. And when that time comes, it comes.
That is Sony Michel, Los Angeles Rams running back, who is going to be second string to Cam Akers in this game. But he was a big part in leading the Rams to the postseason and the Rams getting as far as they did. This is him talking about free agency, by the way. Gives us a little bit of an insight of our schedule for Time to Football. So for you guys that are wondering, hey, what do we do during the offseason? Well, let's go ahead and show you. Super Bowl recap show is going to be coming out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Tuesday, starting February 15th, this Tuesday, every single Tuesday, we're going to have top 10 lists. They're hilarious, they're funny, they're enjoyable. Make sure you guys tune in with that. And then Wednesday, starting February 23rd, we're taking a little bit of a break this week, but next week, we're coming back with the live shows, and it's going to be a weekly thing instead of daily. And then on Fridays, starting February 25th, fantasy football off-season projections. I've been talking about this a lot. We're going to start getting into predicting our preseason rankings for 2022. I'm going to show you. It's going to be like an educational course. It's like I know it's going to feel like school, but I'm going to show you guys how I come up with my rankings, how I calculate them, and then I'll show you the trends, and I'll keep you updated with all the news and OTAs and players that are popping off so that you guys know who is going to be doing so well in the 2022 season. Actually, as a matter of fact, while I have a bigger audience joining me than usual, I'm going to go ahead and mention those fantasy football projections. Again, like we come out with these rankings July, August, every year. Come out with a spreadsheet. We do our own research. We don't look at ESPN. We don't look at NFL. We don't let any other website convey our mind to thinking like, okay, this player's going to go off because ESPN said that they're going to go off. We don't do that. We look at our own stats. We look at our own news that we hear from OTAs, from beat reporters, which player's going off, which player's not doing well, and how that affects these stats and who is going to pop off. I mean, we predicted the breakout season of DeAndre Swift, Jalen Hurts, Jamar Chase, fantasy football-wise, Evan McPherson, Mike Williams. There's so many that we're going to mention. And on Tuesday, when we talk about the top 10 list, we're going to mention those players as well. But I encourage you guys to subscribe to this channel because we talk about players and we mention players that not anybody else knows about, but we have the opportunity to catch up on it and really use our own analytics to really predict who's going to be taken off. Some players we get wrong, but most of the time, the majority of the time, we're more right than we are wrong. But I'm not afraid to admit that I'm wrong sometimes either. So with all that said, I mean, hey, we talked about the unsung heroes, which I encourage you guys to leave your comments down below and let us know your thoughts on that. We talked about who's going to go off as far as, the Tyler Boyd, Cam Akers, Logan Wilson, those guys, Van Jefferson. We talked about what would happen if the Rams win or lose, the Bengals win or lose, like what-if scenarios. Catch you guys caught up on NFL news and notes, who's active, who's inactive. Now, I think it's time to get down to it. Like, who is going to win this game between the Los Angeles Rams and Cincinnati Bengals? You kind of heard my prediction when I was talking to Mason earlier, and Mason gave his prediction of the LA Rams. But let's just go ahead and show you guys one final time between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that this game has come down to the wire. To this point, these teams have worked so hard to get to this point. Very, very, very well deserving, all of these guys between the Bengals and the Rams. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, all those guys against Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Sean McVay. This is our prediction. Based off the polls that we took on social media, the viewers are picking the Bengals to win. We like the LA Rams to win by 6. And for you guys that pick the spreads, -4.5 is the spread that you want to pick in this matchup. 58 to 42% based off the poll that we took on social media. The viewers are favoring the Bengals to win in this one, while the Rams are favored to win by us to win by 6. If you guys think otherwise, I encourage you guys to leave your comments and your thoughts and your opinions down below, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying you might be wrong. Listen, my heart wants to go for the Bengals so bad. I really do. I really, really do. And listen, this isn't about like I'm doubting the Bengals. I'm not. Like, if the Bengals win, that would be realistic. Like, they're a good team. They deserve to win. I've actually gone for underdogs before. Like, I've gone for the New York Giants in 2007 against the New England Patriots. I've gone for underdogs before. But my preseason prediction, my preseason Super Bowl prediction was the Rams versus the Titans. That was my prediction, preseason. Didn't work out with the Titans. So I'm going to have to stick with the Rams. And I'm going to go with the Rams all the way because what they've done in the offseason and what they've been doing with trades, they are just signaling, yes, we are doing everything right in winning a Super Bowl championship. So my prediction, I am going with the Rams. If you think otherwise, please comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys to see what you guys are saying. We got Roger actually joining us in the live chat right now saying Happy Valentine's Day to all. Yes, it is the day before Valentine's Day, before I will bring chocolates and cards and everything for my hot brunette wife. It is a time for all of us to relax and enjoy a man's domain. Not that woman can't watch football. Hey, not that women can't watch football. So I don't get canceled. But it's time to enjoy a man's day right now. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have some buffalo chicken dip. Have some hot Cheetos. I know some people eat hot Cheetos at 7 a.m. But you can eat some hot Cheetos during the Super Bowl. And it would make sense. So happy Valentine's Day to all. To you, Roger, and to every single man that is watching right now. Rubio saying, and yes, he always talks like a robot and sides with Vegas 100% of the time. Talking about Mason Dodd. Yeah, okay. I mean, sure. Like, it's, yeah, fantasy flock. I enjoy his videos. I personally enjoy it. I think he does it great. I think he, like, I mentioned this, like, it's 12 a.m. midnight after a Sunday night football game, and he's got bags underneath his eyes. He told me that he works 80 hours a week doing fantasy football videos. So I'm like, oh my freaking goodness. Like, I work a lot. I work probably 40, 50, 60 hours a week doing YouTube, but like 80 hours, that's on another level, man. Like that's amazing. I admire his passion. Metallica Dragon seems like he's going for, emoji. We got the Bengal emoji, we got the trophy emoji, and then we got the goat emoji, or the sheep emoji, I should say, for the Rams. Again, this is the last call, by the way, before we go ahead and sign off right here, for you guys to join us in the Discord. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to see this, you guys can join us for the live show. Leave your thoughts, your predictions, who's going to be a Super Bowl MVP. I encourage you guys to join in, hop in, and let us know your thoughts live on air. I am actually in the Discord room right now if you guys want to go ahead and join us. But if not, then we're going to go ahead and sign off here pretty soon. I wanted to start this pregame show at 4 o'clock because I wanted to give you guys some time. If you guys were going to Super Bowl parties, to drive out and go to Super Bowl parties and see what you guys are, enjoy it. Enjoy it with some friends. You know what I'm saying? So definitely do that and have some fun with everyone. All right. I'll hang out for another minute to see if anybody else joins us in the chat or in the Discord. See if they want to talk on air. But if not, that's really going to be it. That's going to be wrapping it up for this Super Bowl 56 pregame show. It was a little bit more, professional, I would say, as far as the graphics go. But hey, if you missed any of the Super Bowl interviews that we came out with earlier in this channel, I encourage you guys to go back, watch those interviews. We had fun. We had so much fun talking to all these players. There were some, I'm laughing right now because there was two guys that we did not have the chance to publish their interviews that we talked to. One was BJ Hill, not because BJ Hill was a bad interview, but it just wasn't long enough. Like his answer and my question, it was only like 40 seconds. So I was like, I'm not going to bombard YouTube, with like notifications like, hey, another interview. So I just decided to just post that to social media, not to YouTube. And another one was Eli Apple. We actually talked to Eli Apple, and I know he gets a lot of criticism for, talking a lot of smack and like his play not really, like, sometimes not backing that up. But we had an interview with Eli Apple. I'm not going to say much about it, but the interview, just what we asked him versus what the response that we got, he wasn't mean. Like he was like nothing. He didn't say anything rude or anything like, but what we asked versus the response that we got, it just didn't line up. Like he just said something completely different. So we were like, this interview doesn't make sense, so we're not going to post this. But if you guys want to go ahead and watch the other interviews that we come out with, I encourage you guys. We had the chance to interview the potential future head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. I have to say potential because I can't come out here and say that he's a Vikings head coach, but it's trending down that direction. All right. Well, with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for this episode of Time to Football. Glad you guys were able to join us. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Talking about the Super Bowl, talking about the big game, what's going to be happening. Again, I am going for the LA Rams. Let me rephrase that. I'm going for the Bengals. Like, my heart is going for the Bengals. Like, I'm a Falcons fan, so I sympathize with franchises that have never won before. So I'm going for the Bengals, but my mind is telling me the Rams. Leave your thoughts, your predictions down below. With all that said, enjoy the big game. Thank you for tuning in.